So today's the day. Today's the day we move. There's the U-Haul. Don't mind my appearance. It's moving day. And just finished crying a little bit. Hey everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you all for your patience and waiting for me to get this video out to you guys. I know it has taken some time, but this is my first video since moving to Connecticut, and I am excited to share my heart with you guys. This video is going to be about the move itself, about moving to Connecticut, what prompted the move, why we're here, and just some of the process as far as packing and what we did our last days and weeks leading up to the move. So this is part one. This is part one of, Chessi and her family's move to Connecticut. I was sitting on the footage that I had taken while we were still in Mass and some footage that I took once we moved here for a while, doing some editing and just working through it, looking through it, and of course getting emotional all the while, just because this was a lot of information. It was a lot of footage that I wanted to put together and present to you guys. And I felt like every time I tried to put something together, I was taking out things that I shouldn't have been, or I felt like I was cheating myself by not really giving you all of the details. And so that's part of why I'm doing this introductory video that I'll probably split up over the next couple of weeks in my videos and the different parts that I do. I'm going to try and condense it to just 2 parts. I think that that's fair. But let's just dive right in, right? We made the decision to move for a couple of reasons. One, our landlord was selling the house that we lived in, and so we were, putting together a plan to move regardless. Initially, the plan was to stay in Massachusetts. That like any reasonable individual that has to move out of their rental apartment, it's not to uproot their whole life and move to another state. So we weren't even considering moving to Connecticut originally. Our plan was to try to find somewhere locally in the Boston area, or maybe move out west in Massachusetts, but still relatively close to the city. But then one day we just had a conversation about where we are in life and what our goals are and what we want to make happen, and some of the things that had kind of been keeping us from doing that. And Courtney's family lives in Connecticut, lives here. It's where we are now, actually. We prayed about it. We really sought God. We sought wise counsel. And we realized that this was the next step that God wanted us to make. And so here we are. When we first moved to Connecticut, it's about a month ago now, a little over a month ago, I started to feel the weight of the move. And I've had a few conversations about this where I really believe that God gave me so much peace with the idea of moving to another state when we were still in Massachusetts, especially Connecticut, because he knew that this was what we were supposed to be doing. So he gave me peace about making the decision. I had come to terms with everything that meant, leaving my job, leaving my family, leaving my friends, leaving my community, leaving our church home, to come to Connecticut and be with Courtney's family, who has adopted me into their family and now are my family. But I didn't necessarily feel the weight of what that meant. And so once we moved here, that weight kind of set in. And as time has progressed, it's kind of been like an emotional roller coaster where I feel the weight of it, but then I recognize that we're in a season. And so that uplifts me and that helps me to kind of push through. And that's kind of how I operate, where things can be, less than ideal or difficult, even just flat out, hard. But at the end of the day, if you're doing what's right and if you are confident in the decisions that you make, that they are the decisions that are best for you and for your family, that everything is going to work out. And so I know that we made the right decision for our family. Sorry, guys. I might not be able to do this. we'll see. So regardless of how difficult it might get at times, I am able to encourage myself. Aside from trying to make it perfect, I think there was a part of me that was afraid, to release this video. There was a part of me that felt as though if I released the video to the world, that it was gonna make it somehow more real. And I think there is a certain truth behind, once you accept something, once you claim something, once you put something out there, regardless of how difficult it might be for you, it now becomes now there's more weight with it. And I think I was afraid of that weight. I was afraid of putting this out there for you guys, and I guess maybe not being able to take it back. I don't know. And I think that might sound silly because we moved. Everything that you do, to every action there's a reaction, and to every action there's a consequence. Sometimes those consequences are good. Sometimes those consequences are not so good. And I think that the pros of us being here absolutely outweigh the cons. But it would be silly of me to act as though I'm not feeling, a little bit of pain. That I'm still trying to figure out exactly what God is saying to me right now in this time of being still. I recognize that I am not, God must want me to be still right now, but that also means that he's trying to say something to me. And so if that's the case, I need to figure out what that is. So we're figuring that out. This time, me and my camera, which would potentially be whoever decides to watch this video, you witnessing a freeing moment. That's what I'm expecting from this moment. I don't take vlogging lightly. I don't take getting in front of my camera, sitting down and talking lightly. Because as I've talked about before, I believe I'm on assignment with this. I believe that this is something God is calling me to do. And so there may be somebody watching who has been through something similar. Oh, my son is awake, and I think he might be crying. I am trying for the second time on a second day to record this, what is supposed to just be an intro video for you guys, because yesterday my son woke up from his nap and I had to go get him. He woke up crying, and then the rest of the day got away from me, so I didn't get to finish recording at all. I also want to emphasize how one day can make a difference in anybody's lives. And when life is throwing so many different things at you, the last thing you want to do is act like you're not allowed to respond to those things, or like your emotions are not allowed to be affected by the things that you're experiencing. What you want to do is you want to talk about what you're feeling. You want to, even if it's just internally, having a conversation with yourself and saying, hey, this is what I'm feeling, this is what I'm going through, and it's okay to be in this place, but how do I move from this place to the next? So, with that being said, I am going to have you transition over to watching the flashbacks. We are in the car right now. It is our last day in Boston before the big move. I'm with my lovely husband. Sound like Leo.
Our 1-year-old.
Which, by the way, he has been in Connecticut already for almost a full week now, so I'm so excited to get there tomorrow to see him.
We've been able to be married, for real.
We've been adults for a week.
Adult life.
Except we've been so busy that honestly, We were actually probably more busy this week without him than we have been in the past with him. It's been a very reflective week for me. My last day of work was Friday, and it's very interesting. Shout out to all of my Lamakia crew for any of those that are watching, and for anybody looking for a job or looking to become a real estate agent in Massachusetts, New Hampshire, or Rhode Island. Lamakia Realty is the place for you. But yeah, it was a very, very interesting week because I do love my coworkers and I love the agents that I've worked with, and I'm definitely gonna miss them. We're so excited to be around, Courtney's family, around my in-laws, who I just refer to as mom and dad because
She's gonna be more Jamaican by the time we leave.
I am.
She's already an honorary Jamaican.
And I am committed to learning how to cook. How many dishes do you think? How many? Because we'll be there for about a year and a half, right? At least.
Yeah.
So, how many dishes do you think is appropriate for me to task myself?
20. I think you can do it. There are several different dishes. We're talking breakfast and dinner. We don't really have lunch. We skip over lunch. It's breakfast, dinner. But I think you can do it, babe.
20?
20. Fried dumpling, ackee, saltfish, oxtail.
So you're expecting me to learn how to cook 20 different meals.
20.
Okay.
I mean, I'll learn with you.
You better.
Yeah. You gotta help.
Okay, that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. We can make that work. So yes, I will be more Jamaican by the time I leave Connecticut. If for no other reason than the fact that I will know how to make 20 dishes. If knowing how to make 20 dishes doesn't make me Jamaican, if it doesn't give me literally Jamaican blood, then I don't know what does, at that point. So, yeah, that's that. That's just that on that. That's just that on that. Period. How about that? Any last words before we leave?
Drop mic. We out.
Got a little emotional leaving the house. This is a big move, and we are very excited about it. But we're also gonna miss our friends and family here. That's the truck. I'm tailing behind it. Our entire life is in that truck. Okay, so we're off. We just pulled off and we are on the road. This is so surreal. It hit me this morning like it hasn't hit me. Looking forward to seeing my family, my in-laws, and I have cousins and whatnot in Connecticut as well. So I'm really looking forward to an opportunity to getting closer to them and just hanging out with them more, and them getting closer to my husband and my son. This is goodbye, Boston. And it's see you later to a lot of our friends, because we'll be seeing them, of course, again in the future. This isn't goodbye. But after we move from Connecticut, we probably won't be moving back to Boston. We'll probably be moving to another area of Massachusetts. So it's literally goodbye, Boston. I mean, we'll come to visit, but as far as living here, this is where I grew up. This is home for me. So it's like saying goodbye to my hometown. Okay, so I have managed to get my coffee, get gas, and then my husband asked me to go back to Dunkin' Donuts to get him a colada. So did that because they're all right next to each other. And so now we are hitting the road.